Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well tonight. I'm not sure if this is recording me or the screen. Something looks really weird tonight, so hopefully it's recording me, but we'll get started. So chapter 21 is self-talk. After reading through this, I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a technique. I do this all the time, either with myself or trying to talk with kids about some of the things that they are battling with internally. So self-talk is a positive pep talk to yourself each day. Repeatedly states a helpful, supportive phrase when facing troubling issues. It stems from REBT that we did this past week. There's two types, both negative and positive. Self-talk can be influenced by what other people say. Also, positive is desired, while negative is self-defeating and prevents you from improving and being successful. There's three major concerns: the interpersonal, the physical appearance, and the personality characteristics. There are 16 negative types of self-talk, and I didn't want to list those because we don't want any negativity. We want to get rid of those. Negative talk, though, is not always unhealthy because sometimes it helps a person recognize a risky situation. So that is something positive about something negative. There's 4 steps. The goal is to detect and discuss the negative talk to enhance effectiveness. Counselors need to know which type is negative self-talk and what type of negative self-talk the client uses and how often it occurs, and then the type of situation that brings the negative self-talk about. There's also a P and Q method. When negative talk happens, pause, hence the P, breathe deeply, and question, Q, to help figure out what is upsetting. The example in the book was about Nicole, who's 17 years old and has test phobia. So, as you can see through this one, it was very helpful for her to learn about the self-talk. Oh my goodness, self-talk. Okay. It also is helpful with those that have issues with perfectionism, worry, self-esteem, and anger management. Like I said, I can use this all day long with my students. Also with myself. I wake up every morning and give myself a pep talk. Let's go, let's go, let's do today. And that's how we go from there. Chapter 22 is reframing. This takes a problematic situation and presents a new way that allows clients to gain a more positive, constructive perception. Sorry about that. Reframing changes conception and emotional viewpoints of the situation and changes its meaning by placing it in another framework. The ultimate goal is to help the client see the situation from another point of view, making it seem less problematic and more normal, don't really like that word, and more open to a solution. It creates hope and motivation by amplifying strengths. Helpful when the situation involves redefining offensive motives or behaviors that are problematic but well intended. It moves clients from blaming others to taking more responsibility for personal behavior. And there's 3 steps. The counselor must use judgmental listening cycles to gain a complete understanding of the client's problem. Then once the counselor understands the problem, they can build a bridge from the client's point of view to a new way of looking at the problem. The counselor must reinforce the bridge until a shift in their perspective develops. Kelko and Milan say that reframing, there's 3 steps for them. They say that reframe the behavior, prescribe the behavior, and then maintain the behavior through a contract. This also helps with relabeling and I don't know those words, and connotative. Yeah, not real sure on those words. So as far as reframing goes, I think this would be an excellent technique once again to utilize with teenagers because of how their problems seem so out there sometimes. And so if we can reframe it, bring it back, step it down a little bit, and help them focus on what the real issue is always helpful. So helping them see another point of view. They usually are defensive and thinking that everyone's out to get them. So if we can reframe that and help them see that people are out there looking to help rather hurt, is always quite helpful. I think I said helpful about 10 times in that. All right, the last one, chapter 23 in Erford. I haven't really talked about him very much. All this information is coming from Erford, straight from our text. Is thought stopping. I was like, what in the world is thought stopping? So I was intrigued and kept reading. So this is a procedure used to increase a person's ability to block a response sequence. It was first used in 1875 to help a man who was preoccupied with the thoughts of nude women. Uh-oh. So it was commonly used with sex offenders. It trains the client to exclude every undesirable thought, usually invoking the command stop to interrupt unwanted thoughts. It's been successful for several reasons because the command stop serves as a punishment which decreases the likelihood that the thought will reoccur. Stop acts as a distractor and is incompatible with the unwanted thought. Also, stop can be followed by thoughts substitutes to help ensure that unwanted thoughts will not return. There's 4 steps. The client and the counselor must decide together which thoughts are the target. The client then closes their eyes and imagines the situation in which the target thought is likely to occur. The target thought is interrupted by the command stop. Then you substitute a more positive thought for the unwanted thought. This usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes for self-monitoring. The goal, once again, is to have the intrusive thoughts occur less frequently and bring the removal under control of the client by the client being able to control it. Other helpful things, we've seen that where you pop the rubber band on your wrist when you've done something wrong or you said a dirty word, and then snap it. So this helps the unwanted thoughts disappear or not happen as often. Also, the book suggests pinching or pressuring your nails into your hands. And I'm thinking with younger kids, that just might not be very good because we don't want any self-harm going on or anything like that. I know the intention is there, but at the same time, I'm not a big supporter of that. But I am supportive of the thought stopping, and I could see how that would help, but just not those things. Also, it helps with reducing negative self-talk, smoking, and visual and auditory hallucinations. So, very cool on the thought stopping and how we could use that in our sessions, possibly with older adults, possibly with that, even though popping of the wristband or the rubber band might seem a little immature, but it's still there. So, of course, we can use all 3 of these in our future career, in our current careers, and also it's some things that I need to work on myself. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really hope that it wasn't the screen and that it was me. Have a good night.